What if Omni-Man never changed? This story is how I personally think things would have played out if he never redeemed himself. Let's begin. After brutally beating down his own son, Omni-Man leaves Earth behind, cold, emotionless, and loyal to the Viltrum Empire. He doesn't look back, but as he flies through space, something lingers in his mind. Not guilt, but disappointment. He truly believes Mark failed him. In his eyes, Earth is weak, his son is weak, and the Viltrum Empire deserves to take it all. He leaves Mark barely alive, giving him one last chance to change his mind and join the Empire. Back on Earth, the world is in chaos. Broken cities, broken people, and a broken hero. The world now knows the truth about Omni-Man, and humanity starts preparing for what's coming next. A full Viltrumite invasion. Cecil does everything he can to rebuild, putting Mark under constant observation. He knows another fight is coming, and this time, they won't have the luxury of surprise. Months pass. Mark heals, both physically and mentally. He trains harder than ever before, learning from every failure, every loss. He knows his father will return, and this time, he's determined to be ready. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, Omni-Man returns to the Viltrum Empire. He's greeted not as a traitor, but as a war hero, a soldier who completed his mission, who crushed resistance on a key planet and proved his loyalty. Thragg welcomes him back personally. In this version, there's no guilt. No rebellion, just respect between two of the strongest Viltrumites alive. Omni-Man becomes one of Thragg's most trusted warriors, commanding entire fleets, wiping out planets, and leading purges for years. With Omni-Man still loyal, the Viltrum Empire grows stronger, faster, and far more organized. Planets that once resisted now burn under his command, and soon their eyes turn back to Earth. Omni-Man's knowledge of planet Earth is going to give Viltrum a huge boost. Unlike in the canon timeline, Alan the alien never goes to prison this time. Since Omni-Man never abandoned the Empire, Alan never gets the chance to rescue him or convince him to change. Instead, Alan sees the growing danger and rushes to warn the coalition of planets. When he meets Mark, he doesn't see a rookie hero anymore. He sees humanity's last hope. Alan helps him reach out to the coalition early, and together they prepare defenses that Earth never had in the original story. In this scenario, Oliver most likely would never be born. The only reason Omni-Man ever visited the Thraxan planet is because he was drifting through the universe, feeling sorry for what he did. This time, that is not the case. Thetis introduces Mark to the Scourge virus, the most effective way to kill Viltrumites, their last option in hope of saving the universe. Mark, as expected, doesn't approve of this virus, since it could harm humans as well if it had to be used on Earth. But this time, there isn't much of a choice. The team-up of Thragg, Conquest, and Omni-Man is terrifying. Mark slowly begins to realize how serious this has become. He's no longer fighting a single Viltrumite. He's facing the strongest army in the galaxy, led by the three most dangerous beings alive, Thragg, Conquest, and his own father. The Coalition knows they can't win this through brute force. Even with their best technology and soldiers, the Viltrumites' raw power and experience far outclass anything they have. So Thetis pushes harder for the Scourge virus plan, not as a weapon of aggression, but as a last resort for survival. Mark continues to resist the idea. He's still driven by hope, the belief that there must be another way, but deep down he understands the scale of the threat. The Viltrum Empire under Omni-Man's command is expanding faster than ever before. Hundreds of planets fall within months, and the Coalition's influence shrinks by the day. Word spreads across the galaxy that Omni-Man is alive and thriving, a living symbol of Viltrumite dominance. Stories of entire civilizations wiped out by him only fuel the fear. To most, he becomes a myth, a monster that no one can stand against. Back on Earth, Cecil's resources are stretched thin. The Guardians of the Globe are doing their best to keep the planet stable, but it's clear that if the Viltrumites attack again, humanity won't survive long. Mark begins to train constantly, sparring with Alan, studying Viltrumite tactics, and preparing for the inevitable. He's no longer just a defender of Earth. He's a soldier in an intergalactic war. Years pass, and tension builds. Then, without warning, the Viltrum Empire makes its move. They had waited long enough. If this time Invincible isn't ready to join them, he will fall as well. The invasion begins with dozens of Viltrumite strike forces appearing across Coalition territory. Omni-Man leads one of the main fleets, while Thragg commands the assault directly. Conquest handles the brutal cleanup. Any resistance, any survivors, all destroyed. Mark, Alan, and the Coalition are forced into a corner. They can't stop them planet by planet. It becomes a war of survival. Every victory feels temporary, every loss permanent, and every time they think they've slowed the Viltrumites down, Omni-Man pushes forward again. When the battle finally begins, it's chaos across space. Viltrumites tear through ships with ease, but the Coalition fights back harder than ever. Mark and Alan manage to break through the front line, forcing a confrontation that the Empire didn't expect. Omni-Man joins the fight personally, seeing Mark again for the first time since Earth. Their battle spreads across planets, destruction on a scale never seen before. But unlike their first encounter, Mark doesn't hesitate. He knows what's at stake. The fight doesn't end in victory for either side. Both armies are nearly wiped out. In the chaos, Thetis releases the Scourge virus. He knows that virus is their last hope. In a combat fight, a Viltrumite is unmatched. Mark would of course try to stop him, but Alan, like in the comics, supports the idea of releasing the virus. This time, Invincible can't change his mind. Alan is stronger, and after dealing with Mark, the virus is released, killing most of the Viltrumite army, alongside some innocent victims. That was the compromise Alan had to make. Thragg and a very few Viltrumites survive and escape, same with the Coalition. Both sides have lost most of their power, leaving no winners. This version of the story would make Alan evil and ruthless from a certain point of view, since he had to sacrifice innocent lives, but also a hero on the other hand, because this was the only way to save the galaxy. What do you think? Did Alan do the right thing? Also, give me some ideas for the next What If video.